let's get this party started. How's everyone doing? Who's out there watching? I see a few names I recognize. Let's see. We got who do I recognize first? Small. I think this microphone's a little too high. Let me lower this for a sec. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Hey everyone. Let's see. Cosma, I am Ben, Christina, Lady Natbug. We had Small, Unserious K-pop groups, Kim, Ismail, and then someone watching from Beijing, or at least they said they wanted to watch from Beijing. I'm not sure if they're there. They probably went to bed. Lady Natbug, Stay Sungmin, Nasteria, Nightbot. Hey Nightbot, I always see you here, but you never really interact with the chat. You just post links. It's kind of weird. Elaine, Tiffany, Mr. Lee, I'll just call you that. 던이 아니라 든이라는 게 중요하지. You're talking about this? Tiffany, welcome. Blesby, Keith, Justin's wife, says, your lessons are amazing. I've done 10.5 pages already. Keep up the good job. Thanks. Nasteria Stellar, message retracted. That's beautiful. No one's ever put it to me like that before. Lady Natbug says, nice, we have a pre-show. Yes. Scrambled eggs on toast. And Letitia, welcome everyone. We'll get started with the actual lesson in less than 20 minutes. We have some announcements. I'll make these announcements again before we start, but this is the last live classroom ever until August. This is the last time you're going to see this whiteboard until August because I'm going to be in Korea. I'm actually leaving to Korea, not this week, next week. Yeah. So next weekend, in fact, I'll already be in Korea because I'm going to be doing a meetup in Korea in Seoul, May 31st. Now, I'll put the actual details, date and time, all that stuff, as well as how to find it in a actual video where I'm going to announce it. I think I'll post that next Sunday, probably. But just letting you all know in advance. So I'm going to be in Korea by next weekend. So the 31st of May will be a meetup. I know many of you have attended these meetups before. They're always fun to get to meet other Korean learners, other people who watch this channel. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one. So stay tuned for that. But this will be the last classroom you're going to see until August after I come back from Korea. So just make sure you cherish this lesson for today. You know, you only have so many lessons. You gotta just don't forget how special these moments make you feel and how much you love learning Korean. And yeah, I mean, it's only like, what, June, July, a little over 2 months, and I'll see you guys again. But yeah, just letting you know, this will be the last class until August. Of course, I'll be doing other live streams, but they won't be classes. Nasteria says, I got your book last Friday. Nice. Are you talking about this book? Are you talking about this book, my newest book, Korean Sentences Made Simple, now available for sale from GoBillyKorean.com. Get your copy today. Are you talking about this book or a different book? Yes, I shared this. Actually, I gave you a little preview to you guys of this book. I think last weekend I showed it off. But now it is actually released. It's in print form, as you see here. I really struggled to get it to fit into just 200, I think it's like 220 pages. Yeah. It was actually a challenge to get it to fit into that because of how much stuff there over. I think I counted like 280 sections for different forms, but like unique sentence connectors, they're well over 250. So they all fit in here. Over 1,400 example sentences, all voiced by a native speaker. And they're really like, it's kind of like, the best way I can describe this is not a standard textbook where you like look at it one lesson at a time like that. It's like a reference guide. So yes, you move through it in order, but it's made to be used like a reference guide for tons of sentence connectors. And they're all listed here. So you don't have to guess. And, you know, it has a table of contents which lists every single sentence connector. And they're all kind of organized the best that I could. Like there will be a category, for example, one of the lessons will be through and according to. and it has all the forms for how to say through and according to, as well as using, like anything that's related to that. Or there's another lesson about how to say whether, and it has all the forms that mean like whether or not, or whether if, or how whether, or whether you had done, and all those whether forms. And it also classifies them by difficulty level. So if you're still a beginner and you don't have to guess if this form is going to be useful for me, you can just look. There's a 3-star system, or I guess I should say 4-star, because no stars kind of counts too as a level. But there are 3 stars, and it indicates how difficult it is. So if you're someone who's more advanced and you want to know, like, hey, I don't want to waste my time on a book that's just going to teach me like how to say these basic beginner forms. I want something tough. Well, then you just skip to the stuff that has 3 stars, and there's going to be plenty of stuff. There's a ton. In fact, I'd say this book is equally, it's like more topics in this book are for intermediate and advanced than beginner. Yeah, if that makes you feel better. But it does have beginner topics too. It assumes you've already learned them before, and it gives you kind of a refresher on them. But yeah, this just came out. In fact, I just released this like 4 days ago. It is like really new. I've already gotten a bunch of sales for it though, which is nice. And yeah, pretty happy with this. Korean Sentences Made Simple, available now in print and ebook forms. Is that the book you're talking about, Nasteria? That whole spiel could be ruined if that's not what you're talking about. If you're talking about like the new Harry Potter fan fiction book or something like that, or the new Hunger Games book. I don't know, which I heard was kind of fun. Kenneth says, what do we do if we don't know Tunji? Well, I'm going to mention it really quickly, but if you don't know Tunji, like, what's even the point? Like, what are we all doing here, right? Like, do we even really know Tunji? If not, like, why are we all learning Korean? I'll give you a really quick overview of it. It's pretty much the same form we're going to be learning today, but this is the one we're going to be doing today is like a non-standard spoken only grammatical form. And this is the standard one, which you're going to normally use. And we'll talk like, it's not part of the lesson, but I'll do a really quick refresher on it. Cosmo says, what will I do on Sunday nights? Well, Sunday nights are normally for crying and ice cream. Don't you know that? You're not really going to miss. And considering, you know, we've had a lot of advanced classes, it's not really going to be too much different, will it be? No. Keith says, oh no, my Sundays are never going to be the same until August. Yes, it's so long. Sunny Southpaw says, I'm going to get that book on payday. You shouldn't have to wait that long because even though everything's kind of getting more expensive, I've still tried to keep my books priced as low as possible. So the ebook prices for my books are the same as when I first published my first book in 2014. So I don't price them like higher, even though things have gone up. I still price my ebooks for like workbooks are like $10 and the ebooks, like the big books are like 15. So I still try to keep it low. Hopefully you all appreciate that. I just want you to know. Welcome, welcome. Some new people coming in. Stay Sung Min asks, how much is it? Well, I just answered your question. It's the same price as my other books. Kyled, I wasn't able to join last week because I adopted a kitten. Her name is Gumbo. Gumbo. Her name is Gumbo. Aw. That's cats have the weirdest names, I tell you, like, it'll be like, yeah, cat people know. Cats are the animals that get the weirdest names. Way more than dogs will get a weird name, or even like a pig. Pigs can get like refined names sometimes, like Sergeant Blemishes or something like that. Pigs will get like a refined name. You know, dogs will get maybe standard names or kind of cute names, and horses will get like refined names maybe. Cats are like, hey, Scraps, sup, Gumbo? It's like the weirdest names. Keith says, I'll read my copy of the new book on Sundays in a Go Billy voice. Maybe that can fill the hole. What is a Go Billy voice? Is there a Go Billy voice? Kitten, like Babe. Yeah, like Babe. Yeah. The pig names are like, they're kind of refined, I think, a little bit. But yeah, cat names is everything's out the window. You can be like Mr. Buttercups and it'll be a female. Like, it doesn't matter. Cats really don't care. They just want to be let alone. So yeah, they don't really care what you name them. Yeah, we're gonna get started, but again, this is the last live classroom until August. We're gonna be doing a fan meetup in Korea, in Seoul, on May 31st, which is a Saturday. It's like less than 2 weeks from right now. So if you're in Korea or you're going to be in Korea and you'd like to hang out with me, because who doesn't want to hang out with a random white dude Korean teacher from YouTube? That to me says hanging out in like Korea. That says a Korean trip, the best experience in Korea. That's what I think of. But if you think so too, I will be in Seoul on the 31st in May, and I'll be making a video about it so you can get, all the details, all the deets, as the kids say these days. And yeah, so hopefully I can see some of you there. I saw many of you came last year. I think there were like 30 people last year I got to meet, and you can hang out with other learners, talk about your favorite Go Billy Korean videos, because that's what we all do in our free time, especially when we meet strangers. Anyway, yeah. So you'll find out more about that. Kenneth says, Go Billy voice saying perfect as much as possible. Yes, you can get that. I'm glad we like the name gumbo. I'm religious. Okay, I was going to say the only thing I think of when I hear gumbo is literally the dish gumbo, which is very good. You're originally from Louisiana, though. Ooh. You got the good food there. That's like the cheat code for American, like, if someone says they want to try like a real American food, you gotta get them some Louisiana food. There's so many options too. But I feel like when Koreans hear about American food, they all think just hamburgers and hot dogs and pizza and stuff that you can already get in Korea. But there is so much more food in America. And I don't even know, like, would I call it American food? I think I do. I think we're going to take it. I think we're going to take that food and claim it as American food. I think it counts. But there's a lot of like other culture food that's in America that is American now that I think Koreans would really like. And yeah, Louisiana food is one of them. Jewish food is another that Koreans tend to like. It's not American food, but it's like, you're not going to ever find that in Korea. As well as traditional American dishes, which are like, like Thanksgiving food, like that sort of stuff you're never going to get in Korea either, but I think is also pretty Americanized at this point. Pumpkin pie, stuff like that. Yeah. Got to introduce Koreans also. It's not American food, but Mexican food. When Koreans come to the US, and I'm like, you got to try our food. And they're like, well, what's American food that you like? And I'm like, no. Yeah, get tacos. Get some real tacos. Take you down to San Diego. That's the sort of stuff Koreans will really like, I think. Because they can get hamburgers in Korea nowadays. They can get pizza if you really want it. There's some places, and, hot dogs too. But, oh, and bagels. Okay, this is another thing. Korea has bagels that are not bagels. But a Korean bagel, if you go to a bagel store in Korea, a popular bagel store in Korea will give you something that kind of looks and tastes like a bagel, but the way they make it is very different. They don't typically have the process where they'll boil it with baking soda to kind of make it like, rise a little bit or get that texture, right? Not sure exactly what it does, but that's part of one of the steps of making bagels. And they will not toast it, which I swear is a sin on humans. Like, how can you serve someone an untoasted bagel? I mean, if you want it untoasted, that's you do you. But to not even offer it toasted is like, that's a crime. That should be punished. But I don't know what's wrong with the Korean justice system, but that goes unpunished in Korea right now. And then not sour cream. Oh my God, that would be a sin. Cream cheese. Also, if you get it, it's going to be just plain. You don't get like the chive, you don't get the herb. You don't get lox. There's no such thing as lox over there. The only lox you can get are like the ones you buy at Home Depot. You can't get bagel and cream cheese and lox, toasted bagel and cream cheese. You can't get that over in Korea. You get a bagel. It's going to be, like I said, untoasted, cut in half, maybe with some cream cheese on it. And there you go. Bagel's another thing that I think you should introduce to Koreans if they ever visit the US. That's another thing I'd highly recommend, which also kind of falls into the what I said before, like Jewish food. It's not, I'll say it's Jewish food, but it's American food now because it's, really popularized from New York. So yeah, there's so much good stuff. I'm from New Orleans. Do you read your member chat or everyone's chat? I read everyone's chat. Yeah, I was raised on some amazing cuisine. I'd say Cajun and Creole is pretty American. Okay. Do you have any idea for a cool host family gift for my Korean host family? I have a lot of ideas because I've done that sort of like gifting stuff a lot, but it completely depends on what they like. There isn't like a general thing that I'll say, get them this, they'll love it, because these days you can get so many things ordered from the US. There's a website that Koreans have access to called Coupang, Coupang or whatever, and you can import a lot of stuff, but there are still lots of things you cannot import. Or that if you import it, it's ridiculously expensive and no one would actually do it. Things like alcohol, if they like that, US is going to be a really good, an easy way to get them a gift because we have a huge selection of that in the US that doesn't exist over in Korea. And if they do, it's going to be way more expensive. Like we have a lot of unique kinds. I'm not even someone who drinks, but I'll do those for some nice gifts if I want to get someone a nice gift. Other things like snacks, because US is like the king when it comes to sodas and candies and snacks. We have it better than anywhere I've been. Now, other countries will have their really good, unique snacks, right? But the US is just on another level, especially, drinks. So that's another thing you could do is try to find some interesting snacks that they don't have over in Korea. Find out if you can buy them on Coupang, if they exist or not. If they don't, maybe. Medicines can work too. There are a lot of Koreans who might need specific, or doesn't have to be like, actual prescribed medicines or anything, not that, but just general like over the counter stuff you can buy at like a Walmart or whatever. That sort of stuff could be really useful. I know one of my friends really likes melatonin because you can't get it in Korea without a prescription, but it's not really a medicine or anything. It's just, a sleep, kind of helps you relax or whatever. That's another thing I can bring sometimes for friends. But I would say ask them, find out what sorts of things they like. And if you give me some ideas that they like, I could probably give you some more suggestions. Because I always do gifting whenever I go over to Korea, just as kind of like a, hey, thanks for taking care of me. Thanks for helping me. Thanks for being my friend, that sort of thing. A really specific thing that I do if you're from California that I'll be doing a little less now because you can actually buy some of them in Korea now is See's Candies. If anyone knows the brand See's Candies, they might only be in California. It's just kind of like a Baskin Robbins, but for chocolate. And Korea, though, now started selling imported, but they now started selling some of their lollipops and some of their like chocolate bars and some of their stuff you can get over there. But if you just get their chocolate boxes, that you can't get that over in Korea. And all the people I've given it to have loved it so far. That's another kind of cool gift. Yeah, ideally they would have a toaster station, but they don't. I believe it's due to electricity costs because running a toaster for a bagel that only costs, a few thousand won would be really expensive to toast everyone's bagel. Because you can't just have a toaster for that. You need those giant toaster the machines, kind of like the pizza ovens, essentially. And I think they might raise the price if they were to have them all toasted like that. But I don't know. I just know also cream cheese is expensive because dairy is more expensive there. Time for a real Jewish deli in Korea. Lady Natbug, you know how expensive Jewish delis already are in the US? If I go to, like, say in LA, you got a good bunch of good delis. There's Cantor's in LA, you got Arts Deli in LA, a couple others. You're already talking like $30 for a bagel with cream cheese and lox. Can you imagine like getting a pastrami sandwich, a real pastrami sandwich in Korea? Like not like a sandwich with pastrami, but like a pastrami sandwich is like this tall. It's thick with 2 C's. There's so much juicy meat in there. It's already like 30, 40 bucks here. I can't imagine what that would be in Korea. It would have to be over $100. And would anyone buy it besides me? I don't know. Maybe I could get like one of my subscribers will donate like $100 and I'll get a pastrami sandwich in Korea. But like, would anyone really do that? I don't think it's a very viable business in Korea to charge that much for a sandwich. Brent's, that's right. Brent's is another good one. Isn't that is that Reseda or like the bottom part of Northridge? I've been there a few times actually. Brent's is great. Let's see. Justin's wife is on a lesson 11. Nice. Sure, we can find a compromise. Yeah. It really depends. You can get American food in Korea, but often it'll be a little different because the prices are different. So you can't really expect to sell things for the same price over there, which is one of the reasons why a lot of brands don't exist in Korea. The reason why there's no In-N-Out in Korea isn't because they hate Korea. They would love to expand in Korea, but they wouldn't be able to do it with their quality of ingredients and keep their prices low. Because to get the similar taste, they would have to have the right supplier for this, and everything like that would have to be perfect. But then they would have to charge so much money to do that in Korea. I don't think they want to be known for having expensive burgers in Korea, but cheap burgers in the US. I think they'd rather just be known for affordable burgers everywhere. So they're not opening in Korea, but you will see In-N-Out will do pop-ups every like 4 years or so in order to keep their trademark. You'll see a pop-up in Seoul. In fact, there was just one a few years ago, actually. Jake says, for bagels, I grew up in New York City and New Jersey, and every day they were made freshly baked and served, so I never toasted a bagel in my life until I came to LA. Yeah, there are a few good bagel places, actually not too far from my house, which I'm really happy about, but you just don't get them in Korea. There are other things you can get in Korea, though, that are really good. You just you got to look for different things. There are going to be things you can't get over here that are amazing in Korea and vice versa. Okay, so for this lesson, we're going to get started now. It's 2 o'clock. For this lesson, we're going to be learning about a topic that is advanced and only used in speech. The prerequisite for this lesson is 든 or 든지. The ji is optional. It's the same thing. The way this works, and this is not a lesson about 든지, I'm just kind of reminding you, you take a verb stem and you attach 든 or 든지. So 하다, to do, just becomes 하든. If you want to use a past tense verb stem, you can. So like 했어요 would be 했. The past tense is het, so you could do 했든 or 했든지, same thing. And all this means is whether or not, or if, like it's the meaning of like whether you do that or not, whether you go 가든지, and then it implies it doesn't matter. Or like, I don't care. I don't mind. That's what this form 든. This is not the form we're doing today. This is just a quick, I'm not even putting this in the abridged version because it's supposed to be a prerequisite. But it just means something it doesn't matter. Like 가든지, 말든지. So whether you go, 가다, 말다 is to not. 말든지, so whether you go or whether you don't go. 상관없어요. I don't care. 신경 안 써. I don't even worry about that. It's none of my business. I don't care. 하든지 말든지, whether you do it or you don't do it. So 든지 is used whether you do or whether you don't, or if you go or not. I don't care. It's again used to say you don't care or doesn't mind. That's all it is, and that's the normal way you would express something like that. The form we're going to be learning today is an advanced level form that is only used in informal speech. And it has a similar meaning as the form 든지. But the form we're going to be learning today is 이고. So the way it works is similar to 든지 again, but it's only going to be used in informal speech. What that means is that if you are speaking with a stranger, any situation where you should be polite, do not use this form. It will sound rude. So, first of all, here's how to make it. You take a noun and you attach 이고 if that noun ends with a consonant. So if you have like 집, like a house, ends in a consonant, you get 집이고. If you have 학교 for school, it doesn't end in a consonant, you get 학교고. And that's it. That's all the conjugation you have to do. Note, this form only works with nouns. That is another difference between this form and 든지. 든지 goes onto a verb stem. 하다 would become 하든지, right? 먹다, 먹든지. This is only nouns. So what this form is originally from the verb 이다. Notice this E here comes from 이다 and the form 고, meaning and. So 이다 means to be. So something is the noun and. So if we were to say 집이고, it means it's a house and 학교고. It's a 학교고. It's a school and is literally what it means. But this form is not used for its literal meaning. It's used for its nuance meaning, which is to say that the speaker is uninterested in this noun. It's used when the speaker is dismissing something. So like, I don't care. I am uninterested in this noun. So in our example with 집, 집이고, or 학교고, house, school, I don't know why my voice is cracking there. The speaker is dismissing whatever they're talking about. So again, it shows the speaker is uninterested, and it has that nuance of like school, house, like that. Hold on, we got a donation. First of all, let's see, who else do we got? Nasteria asked, do you have a recommendation for making, do you mean miyeokguk? Miyeokguk is actually, I've never made it. My wife makes it. She has a really good recipe. Hers is really good. But you might need to ask me on Discord if I can ask her for the recipe, because I don't know it off the top of my head. I've never made miyeokguk before. Let's see. 안녕하세요, welcome Hopegate. As well as Keith says, informal can be polite though, right? Yeah, informal does not mean rude. Informal just means not formal. So you would not use this when you're trying to be extra polite, and you wouldn't use it when you're trying to be formal. So if you're talking with a stranger, it doesn't mean that ego is going to be rude. It could be used appropriately, like friendly, kind of, but it's not going to be by itself extra polite. So if you were to use it with a stranger, you'd have to make sure everything else around it is very polite. Then it would sound like you're joking, but still being polite. But you have to be cautious because by itself, it automatically is impolite. So, I mean, not impolite, informal. So it could not make your sentence formal, but it can easily make your sentence impolite if it's not surrounded by polite stuff. So just be careful with anything that I say is informal, because it could come across as polite or impolite depending on how it's used. Lexica has a donation. Thank you, Lexica. I apologize. I don't have any space up here. I'll just write it there. I took up too much space with this circle. Lexica says, I hope you have a great trip. Thank you. Don't want to miss the last minute 7 before you go. That is true. There will never be another minute 7 until August. That I can guarantee you. Okay. Kenneth says, like when someone's like, so-and-so is happening and someone goes, and the feeling, sure, but there's another way I'll explain it that might help you understand it as well. It's not quite like so what. There is a different way to say so what in Korean. If you ask me during the break, I'll tell you that. There's some funny ways to say so what in Korean, which I can tell you. Don't want to erase it. So the way that this is used, it can be used either just the way that I wrote it with noun and 이고, but it's often also used twice. So in our example, you could say 집이고, like house, but it's often used twice. 집이고 학교고. So you'll have one noun. You'll have noun A with 이고. And then you'll have noun B with 이고. Like that, that. And again, it's used to imply that the speaker is not interested in something. So it's like saying, or whatever. House, school, whatever. House or whatever. School or whatever. And again, it can be used either once like this, or you can use it twice with two nouns. So noun A equal, B equal, like that. And it means meh or whatever. Like, I don't really care. I'm not interested in that. I'm just saying whatever is how it's used. Who cares about A or B? Or who cares about A if you use it with one noun? So that's what it's used to mean. Again, this is only used in informal speech. You're not going to use this in more polite speech. And because it's informal, you would not use it in any sort of like writing, as in, except to your friends, it's okay, but you wouldn't use this on your TOPIK test. You wouldn't use this in a speech at a meeting or anything. You're not going to use this at work because it's very informal. You also probably won't find this in most textbooks. It is in my new book here, because this has sentence connectors and it's a sentence connector, but it's not going to be in most textbooks because it's really only spoken. So there are two more forms we also need to cover that are both using this form. Let's just get some simple examples now. So I'm going to give you a basic example so we can just kind of see it. Space here, a little bit, a tiny bit of space. Yeah, okay, we got space. 여름이고 겨울이고. 여름, summer. 겨울, winter. 여름이고 겨울이고. Summer or whatever, or winter or whatever, implying I'm not interested. I don't care about winter or summer. I don't care about summer or winter. That's the correct order. 둘 다. 둘 다 means the two, all. Literally, this is how you say both. 둘 다. Both of them. 싫지만. 싫어요. I hate both of them. But 겨울, winter, 조금, a little bit, 더 나아요. 나아요 comes from the verb 낫다, which means to be preferable, but more naturally we would just say it's better. Like, it's a better option. It's better. It's a little bit better. You know, I hate both of them, but winter's a little bit better. I don't care about summer or winter. I hate both of them, but winter's a little bit better. Summer or winter or whatever, I hate both of them, but winter is a little bit better. 여름이고 겨울이고 둘 다 싫지만 겨울이 조금 더 나아요. That's our first sentence. Let this soak for a little bit. Read it over a couple times. Write it down. Sing a song to it. We'll give you the next sentence in just a minute. Like go home or to the park. Yep, Keith, that could work. And there's another way that I'll tell you when we do our next form, which is the same form. Like there are 3 ways to use this same form. This is the first one. When I show you the next one, I think it'll even feel better. You'll understand the nuance like right away when you hear it. I just don't want to spoil it yet. I want you to understand the grammatical usage first, and then I'll give you a nuance usage for it. Like, not the nuance usage, the nuance meaning of it, like how it feels. Yeah, you could do a whole lesson on the ways ko is used. It has a lot of uses. Yeah, it really does. And it does appear in the new book I have. There's several lessons about it. There's one lesson, of course, how you just use it to say and, another one on how you say it to use and then, another one on how you use it to say before, and then there's a lesson on how you use it for this. There are a couple different versions of this. Is there another way that this is used in here? Oh yeah, also I compare it with 서, since it works differently than that. So there are a lot of uses of ko in Korean. Oh yeah, and then there's also 고요, which I also list, because 고요 is a little bit different than just using ko. It's pretty versatile. Okay. So you can't use 차라리, you can? 차라리 can be used with 낫다. So you could say 겨울이 차라리 더 나요, or 겨울이 차라리 나요. Any way you want to use it like that is fine. But 차라리 is just an adverb. It's not a grammar form. So yeah, you can use 차라리 whenever you see some sort of comparison, and especially when you're using like 낫다, it's common to appear. Can you use it for people? Yes, you can. Any noun. Although, in fact, the very next sentence we're going to do is using it with people. So let's get on to that. Get on with it. Okay, 지금은 right now 친구, a friend, 친구고 가족이고, or family. Right now, friend or family or whatever, or more naturally, since we're talking about people, a friend or a family or whoever. 아무도, 아무 means anyone, but it's used with a negative, so you would say 아무도, negative meaning no one. Or anyone. 보고 싶지 않아요. 보고 싶다, want to see. 보고 싶지 않아요. I don't want to see anyone. 아무도 보고 싶지 않아요. I don't want to see anyone right now. Friend or family or whoever. Or whatever, if you want to say that. That's fine too. I don't want to see anyone right now. Friends or families or friends or family or whoever. So 지금은 친구고 가족이고 아무도 보고 싶지 않아요. So I don't want to see anyone right now, whether they're friends or family or whoever. 지금은 친구고 가족이고. Again, friends or family or whoever. I am uninterested is what this implies. Again, just think of it like this right now. I'll give you a little cheat code in the next form we do. There's one more sentence for this, and then there's another form I want to share, which is, I think the next form I'm going to share is even a little more fun than this one. Because it's how you'll hear it used a lot. A lot. Okay. So I don't want to see anyone right now, friends or family or whoever. Was that too fast? Should I have left it up longer? You know what? I don't care. I don't care. We gotta move through the lesson. We don't have time. Okay. 밤이고 낮이고. 밤, night, not day. Night or day or whenever is the literal meaning. But, yes, but this is used as an idiomatic adverb. 밤이고 낮이고 is used to say day and night As in, day, night, whatever. Like, it's so consistent. Like, it keeps going on. So, day and night is how you would say this. 밤이고 낮이고, day and night. So again, it does come from this form, and that's what the nuance is, but you can just learn this as day and night. 쉬지 않고. 쉬다 is to rest, like to stop, without rest. So it's not even resting, it's not even stopping. 전화, calls, phone calls, 와요. 전화가 오다. A phone call comes is how you say to get. As in, the calls are coming. I keep getting phone calls non-stop, day and night. 밤이고 낮이고 쉬지 않고 전화가 와요. Calls keep coming day or night or whenever. 밤이고 낮이고 쉬지 않고 전화가 와요. So calls keep coming day and night. Is it day or night? Night or day? Night and day? Day and night? How do you say it? What do we say in English? Day and night. Or do we say night and day or night or day or day? What's the expression? Because I don't actually use it. I'm not sure what the expression is. But you know what I mean. Or was that Arnold Schwarzenegger? I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is just more enthusiastic Tommy Wiseau. Yes. Day or night. Anyway. All day? Yeah, sure. Just all day is more natural. That's what I'd say. Anyway. 밤이고 낮이고 쉬지 않고 전화가 와요. So, day and night, or night and day, or day or night, or however you say it, all day long. The calls keep coming. I keep getting calls all day and night. Okay. So, that's the basic form, right? You get it. You all get it. You use a noun, you attach 이고, it means like or whatever, but do you really have to say it with two different nouns? What if I just want to say one noun? What if I just want to say like exercise? I don't care about that. Exercise. I just want to relax. What if you don't want to say two things? What if you don't want to say like exercise or running? I just want to relax. No, I just want to say exercise. I don't care. I want to relax. Well, you still are supposed to use two nouns when you use this form, but what if you don't have two nouns? Well, you can make a second noun by using the word 뭐, meaning what. So what does that look like? Well, if you take 뭐 and you add it to this form, it ends with a noun. Sorry. If you take 뭐 and you add it to this form, it ends with a vowel. So you just attach 고. So now you have the form noun 이고 뭐고. Noun or whatever. This has more emphasis on whatever because you're not even saying a second noun. You're just saying the first noun. So this is how you use this form with one noun. And this is personally my favorite way to use this form because it's really just informal. It's like, really like, who cares? Who cares about that is what it implies. Noun, 이고, again, same usage. And then the second noun is 뭐, meaning what? 뭐고, or whatever it is. Okay. I'll give you a sentence in just a second, but write this down. And there's still one more form we're going to do after this, but this is, for right now, this is good. Okay, let's see. Hope Gates says, I can't wait for the connectors video course. If you are one of my, the top tier Patreon members can already watch the first episode, but I'm going to be uploading probably the second and the third one there also this coming week. So you'll be able to see the first like 3 episodes, I think, if you're a Patreon member by this Wednesday. But the first episode will come out publicly this week, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, you'll see the first episode already. So you won't have to wait very long. And then there are 20 episodes, one for each lesson in the book. And these are like, they have substance. They are like 20 plus minute episodes. I think the shortest episode in the entire series is like 16 minutes and the longest is over 30. So they're pretty packed. There's a lot of stuff. Nastari says 전화가 받았어요. So 전화를 받다. Since 받다 is to receive, it's not that the phone itself is receiving, but you are receiving it. So 전화 object marker 전화를 받다. That is to actually get the phone. That's to answer the phone. 전화를 받았어요. 전화가 왔는데 안 받았어요. You can say that. Like I got a phone call, but 안 받았어요. I didn't answer it. So 받다 is the answering part. 오다 is the actual ringing part, if that helps. And Keith already answered. I should have just read one line down. Keith already got it. You're on the ball, Keith. Missed a bunch because I had to answer the door to get grocery delivery and then make food. First world problems. I was trying to study Korean, but I had to answer the door to get my grocery delivered. Still. Welcome back, Small. What did you order? Lady Natbook said, is mogul casual too? No, it's not casual. Again, this form is not casual or rude, but it's definitely informal. So you can say like slang, you can say like jokes, you can say lots of stuff in Korean without it being rude. It's not that you can't be rude. It's not that you can't be funny and playful with strangers, but you need to be polite with them. And you can do that with informal speech, but you have to do it in a polite way. So if you're dismissing something they care about, well, that's rude, regardless of the speech level, right? But if you are being playful about something that you think they'll probably agree with you, as long as you make your sentence end with yo or like something like that and you use honorifics, you can get away with a lot of stuff in Korean. You can use slang, you can use casual speech as long as it's assumed that you're talking about like something related, like you're talking to yourself. Like if you put that into the sentence, you can do a lot of stuff where you think it would be rude in Korean and have it still be polite and friendly. This is fine as well. Just know that it's not formal. So let me give you a sentence. And then I'm going to give you a translation for it that's going to really click. Okay. 운동이고 뭐고. 운동, exercise. 뭐고, whatever. Exercise or whatever. 지금은, right now. 쉬다, to rest. Take a break. 쉬고 싶어요. I just want to rest right now. You know, exercise or whatever. Right now I want to relax. Is a literal translation of the sentence. But there's another way that we might express this type of feeling in English. Exercise, schmexercise. That's the kind of feeling you get with this form. When you repeat a word a second time in a funny way, that shows that you're dismissing it. Like, I don't care about exercise. So you could translate it as, who cares about exercise? Or you could translate it the other way. It's up to you. But it has that feeling of that the speaker is dismissing something. They're not interested in it. Again, who cares about exercise? Right now, I just want to relax. Is also a way you can translate it naturally. And that has the feeling of this form. Again, this gives it a lot of that feeling. It's like, or whatever. I don't care. 운동이고 뭐고. 운동이고 뭐고. 지금은 쉬고 싶어요. Who cares about exercise? Right now, I just want to relax. I'll leave this up for just a minute. Okay. Can you add yo after 고? No, because this is not the end of a fragment of a sentence. Whereas when you say like, I am doing this and I'm doing this, that's like an end of a sentence. I mean, it's a piece of a sentence. This isn't a piece of a sentence though. This is saying the piece of the sentence is this whole thing. You don't want to think of this as the and form, although it literally is. It's from that. It's like, it's exercise and it's whatever, implying I don't care. Like, yeah, it's exercise and it's whatever. That's great, but I don't care. But it's not the end of a thought. So you would not use 운동이고요, 뭐고요, or anything like that. That would sound really awkward. Yeah, it's the attitude. Ain't nobody got time for exercise is also how you can translate it. Ain't nobody got time for. Sure. So it's a Yiddish slang thing, says Lady Natbug. Yes. I had to explain to my my Jewish grandmother's friend that shiksa is the regular Korean word for a meal, and she got a kick out of that. He's like, what? Really? That's funny. Yeah. Okay. 명절. 명절 is a holiday. Specifically, it's like a national holiday. 명절이고 뭐고. National holiday, schmational holiday. Who cares about a national holiday? 저는 돈, money. 돈이나 money or something, at least some money, or just some money. 벌다, to earn. 벌 거예요. I'm just going to earn some money or something. Who cares about a national holiday? Who cares about a national holiday? I'm just going to earn money or something. I'm just going to earn money. I don't care if it's a holiday. Holiday schmoliday. That's the feeling. Holiday schmoliday. Like you're just dismissing it. Again, or whatever. So however you want to translate it is up to you, but that's the feeling you get. Like who cares about that? Or holiday schmoliday. I'll leave this up for just a minute. 운동이 쉼운동이. Yes, yes. That's a perfect translation, Piano Nocturnes. Got sauces to make silken tofu dish? My wife does. Again, if it's any Korean dish, my wife has a recipe for it. I can only make a few things in Korea that I can do confidently that I would say I can make. One of them is kimchi. I can make pretty good kimchi. Although, again, my wife's is better, but I can still make it. I can make 볶음밥 though really good. I have some good recipes for that, as well as tteokbokki. I know the secrets to making tteokbokki that the street side carts that they use. I know their secrets. So tteokbokki and 볶음밥, I'm good at those. Everything else though, I would leave to my wife because she can do it better than me. Yeah. But if you need a specific recipe, you can come in my Discord. I can ask her if she has anything that she can give out. A lot of her recipes though are like combinations of things that she's found on the internet with her own changes, which is usually what most recipes end up being. Like, oh, you make a recipe online, but actually, oh, I don't like that. It's like way too salty, or it's too simple, or, you know, the recipe's too vague. Okay. 명절이고 뭐고, 저는 돈이나 벌 거예요. So, holiday schmoliday. Who cares about a holiday? I'm just going to earn money. So I'm just going to work. Who cares about holidays? I'm just going to earn some money. How would you finish this sentence? Instead of just giving you my sentence here, I'm going to start it. 시험이고 뭐고. 시험 is a test. How would you like to finish this sentence? I want you to challenge yourself. If you feel up to it, try to write this sentence and give me an ending. Test smashed. Who cares about tests? I want you to try it. Fried rice with beans and carne and salsa wrapped in tortilla sounds excellent. That's it. That's one of the other things I can do is I can make, I can do carne asada, and I can do a lot of kinds of tacos as well as carnitas. I have a really good carnitas recipe I made 5 pounds of carnitas, which was, you think you'd get sick of it, but you actually don't. You do not get sick of carnitas tacos 4 days in a row. I swear, it is better every day. We found out with an experiment, because I had it was like actually I think 6 or 7 pounds, but it reduced down to like 5 or something after you throw away the fat and then you add the other ingredients and boil it. Anyway, yeah, but it was pretty spectacular that those carne asada taco day, and then we had carnitas days for like 4 days in a row. As long as you make sure the other ingredients are good. Carnitas is bomb with salsa verde. Yeah. Well, and then we also went to a local, there's like a Mexican supermarket that we get, like, they have their own salsa they sell. They make tortillas daily. We get all of the other ingredients, cilantro and all that stuff, onions and everything from there, as well as peppers. So it's nice. So we get that and then make those together with the carnitas that we make. It's just fantastic. And then, you fry them. I have a big cast iron pot, fry them in a little bit of oil and get them all crispy, flip them until they're nice and dry and crispy. And then you, right before you finish, you pour a little bit more of the juice from the slow cooker over them, just so that they become juicy again. So that way they're crispy, but also juicy and wet. So they're not like crispy and dry, and they're not like just wet. Oh, yeah. Anyway. 시험이고 뭐고 내용을 다 알아뒀다. 공부하기 싫어서 오늘은 친구들이랑 노래방에 갈 거예요. Yeah, I hate studying, so I'm just gonna go to a 노래방, a little karaoke room with my friends. Carniceria. I don't know what that means. I just read it in my worst Spanish voice. 시험이고 뭐고 야구 경기 보고 싶다. 농구하려고 해요. 놀 거예요. 그냥 놀 거예요. You're just gonna play. Hey, Kai. I saw someone write in all caps. I figured, oh, Kai. I was actually wondering, like, the last sentence I was writing, while I was writing, I'm like, where's Kai, by the way? June, nice. 시험이고 뭐고 나 바다 갈 거야. Who cares about test? Test schmest. I'm going to the beach. I have a good recipe for pork shoulder. Calls for coffee barbecue rub. Trader Joe's. Yeah, Trader Joe's has a good rub. I really liked when I did a coffee rub for a steak, and I thought, so I'm someone who, I don't like coffee. It just smells terrible to me. Don't ask me why. Don't hate on me, but I think coffee smells terrible. I don't drink it. But I read that people use coffee rub for steak and for barbecue sometimes. And I'm like, I guess they like coffee, but they said, no, it's actually not. So I didn't believe it, but I tried it. I got some like fresh ground Brazilian dark coffee from a supermarket. You can get them ground fresh. Took it right home, rubbed the outside of a roast. It was just like a ribeye roast, I think. And with that and some pepper and some salt, it does not taste like coffee or smell like coffee at all. But when it cooks, it just has this like rich, deep flavor that's really nice. So I would try it again. Yeah. 성적 is grades. Yeah. But not 선, but 성. Stephanie is doing my beginner course. Nice. As well as Kai says, are we learning well today? Are you literally translating from Korean today? 시험이고 뭐고 공부할게. Whatever, test or whatever, I'll study. Okay. Mikey says it's Mexican market for meat. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have one of those here. But we do have at our regular Mexican market, they do sell meat. But I hate to say it, but their meat is like not the best quality. I've gotten some bad stuff there. Like most people don't know this. So this is not related to Korean. But while I write the sentence, I'll tell you. Most people don't know this, but when you have meat that has red in it, right? There's like red juices coming out. That's not blood. People always say, oh, it's too bloody. It's not blood. That's just protein. Blood is different. Blood is also red, but it's thicker. So if you get like a steak and it actually has blood in it, that is nasty. It does not taste good. That means they poorly cut the meat. They didn't drain it properly before they cut it up. So it's like just, they don't know what they're doing. And every time I went to the specific place, and not bashing the chain, but the specific place I went to, and each time I got steak there, they would have a little bit of the blood vessel was still in there, and they didn't drain it all out. So you'd have to like cut off actual blood from the steak, which is not that good. The regular stuff though that comes out, which is pink, totally fine. Make it into sauce, you know, put it on top a little bit as like juice. Okay. A lot of you had really good sentences, but mine's better. No, it's actually just another version. You can do whatever you want. As long as you get what the form means, you can write whatever you want. 시험이고 뭐고. Test schmest. Tests schmest. I can't even pronounce it. Who cares about tests? 다, all of it, everything. 포기하다, to give up. 포기하고 싶어요. I just want to give everything up. I just want to give up. Who cares about tests? You know, I just want to give up everything. Because they're really hard tests, I guess. 시험이고 뭐고 다 포기하고 싶어요. Okay, we got one more sentence for this form, and then there's another form I have next. I was going to let you guys finish this one, but I thought it's too easy. It's too easy to finish. 다이어트고 뭐고. Diet schmiet. Who cares about diet? 일단, first of all, 먹을래요. I'm just going to eat. I'm just going to eat first. Who cares about dieting? I'm just going to eat first. 다이어트고 뭐고 일단 먹을래요. Who cares about dieting or whatever? I just want to eat first. Okay, I'll leave this up for just a minute. Then we'll go on to our final form, which is also the same form, but just another version you might see. That one girl says, thanks, guys, and that also now I'm hungry. 시험이고 뭐고 난 뭐든지 다 성공해. Successful. I'm listening still, but I'm making chicken adobo. Oh, I know it. I know chicken adobo. Don't think I don't know about you Filipino people with the secret amazing food. Keeping it all to yourself. Yesterday, I visited my grandmother. I see her about once a month. And on my way back home, I stopped at the world's best franchise. Can you guess? You know what it is. All you Filipino people. Jollibee. I got some chicken sandwiches. Some of the peach mango pies, not apple pies, that's McDonald's. Peach mango pies. And then, of course, you got to get a little bit of mashed potatoes with the gravy. Yeah. And then the pineapple drink. Just went all out. And I don't regret it. This is what your donations pay for, if you're wondering. So that I can get, and my wife and Jeremy, so that we can get delicious chicken sandwiches after we visit our grandmother. Yeah. But it was great. You Filipino people just keeping all the good stuff to yourself. It's so selfish. You should share. You don't tell anyone about your amazing food. You just eat it. You're like, they'll never know. Okay. Sunny Southpaw. Thank you. My next Jollibee's chicken sandwich will be dedicated to Sunny Southpaw, who says, 감사합니다, 빌리님. Thank you. I appreciate it. They're all happy little sentences as long as you get the form. Yeah. Exactly. I'm a Filipino, but my... not Filipino. Yeah, Jollibee. Jollibee is fantastic. If you don't know, it's one of the few chains in the US, I think, that makes just as good chicken as what you would get in Korea at like a good place. Because Korea, in my opinion, Korea has like the best fried chicken overall, just because it's really consistent. Not the best in the world, but like consistently really good. And compared to a lot of the chicken you get in the US, Korean chicken is typically better. But Jollibee is an exception. I think that they make really good chicken that's on par with and better than some Korean brands. It's just really thin and crispy and not over oily. The chicken's not dry. It's still like really juicy. It's not overly salty. Like sometimes KFC is a bit too salty. It's not. It's like perfect. Oh, Kai says donation made via PayPal. Well, I got to check that first. Hold on, Kai. Thank you, Kai. Kai just sent me a $20 donation, and I have no room to write it here. I'm going to have to kind of get creative. I'll put it like that. Kai, thank you so much, Kai. Let me see what you wrote. You say, I'll miss classes for the next few months, but we'll be excited to see your Korean streams. Yes, this is the last classroom until August when I'm back from Korea. I'm going to be in Korea from next week. Yeah, next weekend I'll be in Korea 100% because we're going to be doing a meetup. Kai, I wish you could come to the meetup. You say, hoping next year I can attend the meetup in Korea. My first trip will be in 26. Yeah, if you are in Korea, the end of May or early June, probably I'll do another one next year as well. If you can't make it, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll do 2 meetups if this meetup goes really well. Anyway, thank you, Kai. And I also see I got another donation from... Hold on. Is that... Someone else donated too. Is that Nastaria? Or... Is that Nastaria? Hold on. I have to search because I don't want to just say the name. Yes, I think it's Nastaria. Nastaria, did you say you donated? I don't see you say you donated. Did I miss it? But I just see Nastaria also sent a donation like 30 minutes ago. Did they say something and I missed it? Where are you, Nastaria? I need more space. 한국어 문장이고 뭐고. 이게 더 중요해요. Korean sentences or Korean schmentences. These are more useful. These are more important is what I mean. Nastaria donated but didn't say anything, or maybe I missed it. But thank you to both of you. Small says, I haven't been in Korea yet either and would like to attend a meetup, hopefully soon. 수업. Oh, piano, it's 수업. But yeah. Keith says, I finally got my passport. Nice. Well, you'll have it for 10 years, which is going to be good. The closest Jollibee to me is in Panorama. Nobody goes to Panorama. I think that's where I was at yesterday. I think I went to the Panorama City one. No joke. Chicago is the closest Jollibee to me. Aw. Because I think that might be the closest one to me too. But I'd have to check. Anyway, it was kind of on the way, so I went there. I think it was anonymous. You didn't miss anything. Nastaria says, it is. I thought I pressed send on YouTube, but I don't think it actually went through. Okay, Nastaria, I thought you were doing like a secret donation. But Nastaria says, final first quarter of the hour until August. Thank you for remembering the quarter of the hour. Thank you again for being one of the best Korean teachers ever. Hold on. One of the best Korean teachers. Nastaria, who else is there? Tell me, who am I competing with? Thank you, Nastaria. I really appreciate it. As well as Kai, everyone who's donated. I have one more form though. We're not done yet. Just wanted to check the chat for a second so I don't miss anything. Small says, I'm planning on getting my passport soon too. Never had one before. Lady Natbug says, Jollibee looks like a Filipino Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yes, you did. But it's better than KFC, but it looks like that. So if you go to Jollibee, what you need to get is the combo, which has 2 pieces of chicken. If you've never been there before, I'd say get this. It's 2 pieces of chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy and a peach mango pie. You can also get the ubi pie, which is good too. But I think if you're brand new, I would just check out the peach mango one. You don't need a beverage. They have a pineapple drink, but it's really just like the juice from canned pineapples. So if you like that, it tastes amazing. But it's not necessary, but you have to do the mashed potatoes and gravy. You can't give that up. And if you want to be really crazy, you can add one of the spaghetti dishes, but I'm not a huge fan of that. I think it's a little bit, it's like sweet spaghetti. It's okay. But really the chicken is where it's at. If I go there, I might go there like maybe once a year, twice a year at most. I don't go there often, but I'll get like a bucket of chicken and a big order of their mashed potatoes and gravy. And you eat the mashed potatoes, you dip the chicken in the gravy. Really, dip the chicken in the gravy. Oh, it is so good. It's my favorite chicken franchise in the US. Not my favorite chicken period, but my favorite chicken franchise. Thank goodness I've got a Jollibee only a 10-minute drive away. Nice. Lucky. Ravi says, I'm in Korea now. Can I perfect the Korean language by September? No, unless you're already close. No, it's not possible to get to a fluent level in a matter of months, or even in most cases, even in a matter of years. But maybe if you're like in Korea and you're really studying the language like crazy and everything, then yeah, maybe a year you would get to what I consider like conversational level. But don't push yourself. September would be too soon to get fluent. Lexica says, we might flirt with other teachers, but we can never leave you, Billy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Did we derail the lesson? When did we not? When did we not derail the lesson? Okay, I have one more form. There's one more form that also is this same form, but another usage of it. We start out the same way, but instead of a second noun, instead of using mo, instead of using mogo, we have another option, and that is 나발이고, 나발. Now, this is the same meaning as noun equal mogo. Exact same meaning. So any sentence you see that, you can swap it or back and forth. The difference is this one is more informal. It's also less common. I'll mention that. It's not going to be used as much. It's less common. And it sounds more dismissive. So I gave you the example with something equal bogo as being like, who cares about that? This one is even more so. This one is like, if we have the example with exercise, this is like, exercise? Who cares about exercise? This one's more dismissive of the noun that you're using. But again, it's less common and more informal. So I don't personally recommend using this unless you're actually joking with your friends, because if you use this not jokingly and not with your friends, they're going to think you're being serious, and it's going to sound a bit rude. So be careful when you use this one, but you might see it. Okay. So instead of saying like something or whatever, or like, who cares about this? It's kind of like saying, or whatever, I don't even care, like that. Let me give you an example. Oops. I was like, that's weird. Why did I write it wrong? Okay. Let me rewrite this a little easier to read. 사과. This is not 사과 for apple, but this is 사과 for apology. 사과. 사과고. 나발이고. Apologies. Schmapologies. Apologies. Who cares about that? I don't care about apologies. 다. Everything. 필요 없다. I don't need it. I don't need any of that. Apologies or whatever, I don't even care. I don't need any of that. 없으니까, because I don't need any of that, or so, therefore, 연락하다 is to contact. 연락하지 마세요. Don't contact me. You know, who cares about apologies or whatever? I don't even need any of that, so just don't contact me, okay? I don't need an apology or anything, okay? I don't need an apology or anything, so just don't contact me, is what it means. It's pretty strong. It doesn't have to be mean, though. It doesn't have to be serious, but it does sound more dismissive, and it would be used in this sort of situation. Like, who cares about that? I don't need an apology or whatever, okay? So just don't contact me. 사과고 나발이고 다 필요 없으니까 연락하지 마세요. I got this line directly from my ex-girlfriend. I asked her if I could use it, and she didn't reply, but I think that means yes. So yeah, feel free to write it down. You can memorize it. It's not used as much as the other one, though. My wife calls 나발이고 low talk. Yeah, it's stronger. It's not by itself, though, slang, and it's not casual. In fact, this sentence uses polite speech and even the honorific ending. It's because it's the person being polite, but strong. It's like, hey, I'm not even going to talk casually to you anymore. You know, we're done. Just don't contact me, like that. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try both pies. Love ubi. Okay. I would say, yeah, at least try both. If you're going to try ubi, I would say still get the peach mango. That one's my favorite. Is that apology? My foot? Nabar? No. Nabar, so I tried to find the exact origin of it, but it's kind of tricky to find the actual origin of it. But there are a couple words, so I didn't include in the lesson, but I'll just give you what I found. There are a couple words that this could be. Now, some people have said it's actually from the word napal, which is a bugle. It's like a little trumpet. Like that's called a napal. But it's also not that at the same time. It's another word that's used for referring to a person's mouth. Like garbage coming out of their mouth, essentially, is what it means. So like whatever garbage, whatever, you know, something you're spewing is kind of what it implies. As in, so it's more dismissive of what you're hearing. But it's not, there isn't a definitive definition of where it came from. There is just the definition of what it's used for meaning now, but to find out, oh, it's actually from this word is not really possible. There isn't like an official source on where it definitely came from. Okay. So yeah, don't use that form, but definitely write it down. You might see it in like, you know, shows or movies or something like that when characters are upset. Okay, so we have a few announcements, but I first need to take a thumbnail image for this video. One of those should make a good thumbnail, right? None of those are weird at all. Okay, this was the last live classroom until August, because I'm going to be in Korea. There will be a fan meeting, or just a meeting, you know. You don't have to be a fan, you just have to know who I am. May 31st, at the so that's the end of this month on Saturday. I'm going to be making a post about that sometime, probably next Sunday. I'll post a video about that. And hopefully I can see some of you there. I don't know who's going to be there. Last year it was like 30 people. This year it could be fewer. Hey, if it's fewer, you get more time to hang out. If it's more, then that's good too. The more people you can talk with. And we'll do something there. Be kind of fun. Also, there is a new book which was just released like 4 or 5 days ago called Korean Sentences Made Simple, which is not every, but most of the essential sentence connectors for all levels, from beginning level to advanced level. They're all organized in order by topic and by difficulty level. I put it like a star system, so you can't really see it too well in the camera, but like I have everything like 1, 2, or 3 stars, depending on how difficult it is. 0 stars are also here for people who are more beginner. This form is also in here, but there's a ton of stuff if you are advanced or intermediate. This book is really for you if you're at that level, but it's also going to be useful for lower levels. But I say that because things like unimankum, which you're never going to really find but it is used. It's another sentence connector. Ia말lo, just going to kind of random things. It has all the ones for how to say while, as well as different versions of it. 탑시고 and all versions of that, which is also very advanced. 까, 보니까, 고 보니까, 다 보니까, 다가 보니까, which are different. 타니, 니, 냐니. It's got over like 250, 280 in there. So yeah, that just came out a few days ago. It's available in print and ebook. That is all the announcements I have. Oh, and then if you are a Patreon member, you can also get this outline for today's lesson, as well as a worksheet with an additional like 7 sentences that you can practice. Those are available also on my Patreon page. The worksheet's already up, and the outline will be up in about 30 minutes after this live stream ends. So now I'm going to be taking questions. We can talk for a little bit. We'll hang out for just a little bit, like 30 minutes max, and then I got to go because I have to... Well, I have to edit this video, but I also, more importantly, have to start packing because I'm going to be leaving next week to Korea and I haven't packed or prepared a single thing yet. So I'm going to start taking questions. If you have anything you want to know, now is a good time to ask. Not terrifying at all. Yes. I like this lesson. It was worthy of the last lesson for this season. Oh, Tiffany Gary says, did you tell us what so what, as well as Hopegate? Okay. So there are 2 ways you can say so what, and one of them is actually you're gonna actually say it by accident. 그래서 or 그래서요. 그래서 is like so, and then like why do I care? Like and what else? It's by itself it's not super rude, but it does imply like and like that sort of meaning. So it's not like so what, but it has the feeling of like and. So again, 그래서 or 그래서요. So this is the basic one that a lot of people have probably already learned, or maybe you've seen it before. Easy to use because you probably already know this word. But there's another way, and that is 그런데, which sounds more like so, therefore, and like so, that sort of meaning. And it's often shortened in slang to 근데. 근데 is like, I don't care. So what? It has that sort of feeling that you're looking for. So both of these can be used to say, so what? But this one has more of an actual like, so what? Like, I don't care sort of feeling to it. 근데? Like someone could tell you a bunch of stuff. Oh, you like, I can't believe you do this or whatever. 근데? Like, so what? Like that. So again, it's pretty strong. So don't use this one unless you're joking. But this one has the same meaning and it's less strong a little bit. Those are the 2 you could use. Sounds mean a little bit. It could be a little mean. Yeah. I mean, if you tell someone like, so what? Like that's going to be mean unless you're joking with your friends, in which case it could be funny. Yeah, unless you're joking or you want to fight. That's right. I did say I was going to teach you how to say that. So now you know. Also, if you have a request for a video you want me to film this time in Korea, I have a ton of ideas for interviews that I want to do. And I also have a lot of ideas for Glass with Billy episodes that I want to film, as well as a bunch for some KiKat episodes. We're going to be bringing KiKat over to Korea and getting her out of her box and filming with her again this year. But if there's a specific video you'd like to see, I can't promise I'll make it because I'm only one person, but I'll try. I can research it to see if I can make it. And I'm interested in what sorts of videos would you like to see? That one girl says, I'll be definitely getting this book. Sounds exactly what I was looking for. Nice. Yeah, you can get it from my website already. It's already up there, as well as all the audio files. Or if you wait until this week, Wednesday or Thursday, I'm also going to be starting to upload it one lesson at a time. So there will be 20 videos. I'll post once a week. So that'll be for people who don't want to buy the book. They can also still get the whole course for free on my YouTube channel, but they'll have to wait 20 weeks for that. And personally, I think the book's more useful because it has a table of contents, so you can immediately just check where you need to go. Whereas the video course, it's only one at a time. So yeah, but some people prefer video courses. FIFA says, what are the benefits of signing up for the $10 Patreon page? Well, the first benefit is it gives me $10 a month. That's really the biggest benefit, is it not? That you support me for $10, which is lower than the $25 tier, but it's double the $5 tier, right? It's also 10 times the $1 tier. Most people don't really think about that. And it's half of a $20 tier, which doesn't exist. But if it did exist, it would be half. You also get access to everything in the previous tiers below that. So you get the $5 tier, the $1 tier. So you get all the outlines, the worksheets, the Anki deck, all that stuff, request priority. But then when I make my KiCad episodes, which I do a few times a year, this year I'll probably be making 4 of those as well when I'm in Korea this time. You get access to those PDFs immediately when I finish them, or usually like a couple months before I put the video out, whereas everyone else has to wait for the videos to go live. Besides that, though, it's really just supporting me more. I mean, really, Patreon is like, I try to offer as much as I can, but like, it's really just who wants to support me, who wants to help me to keep doing more of what I'm doing. And I really appreciate it no matter how much you can do. So don't feel pressured to do more. It's just whatever you can. Cosma asks, Billy, where can I search this kind of spoken only grammar form? That's the neat thing. You don't. You can't even find some of this stuff because it's not taught. In fact, I've done a bunch of forms like this before where I've taught forms that are, you can find them in the dictionary, but they're not listed as the actual way they're used because the way they're used is not the way they're supposed to be used, but that's still how they're used. Like the form, kajigo, for example. I've taught this one before. This is the most basic example I can give of that. Where it's a spoken only grammar form, you're not going to even find this in a dictionary, except it might list that it's used to list the reason of something, the reason for doing something. That's it. Like, just like the forums hall, but that's all it's going to tell you. Because they might hesitate to teach something that's kind of unofficial. But I've taught that before. Another one is the Kirudai form is a really common one. But there isn't a way you can like search like what is it? Spoken only grammar forms. There isn't really a search term for that. Believe me, I've tried. You just have to hear a lot of Korean and you notice it. Oh, there is a new one. There is a fun one that I've never taught before, but is in my new book. That is Tago. I think it's in part 2 of my because lesson. So that would be chapter, let me find it really quick. Yeah, it's in chapter 10. So that'll be lesson 10. So if you want to wait for the video course, that'll be lesson 10. But this form means because, and I've never found it taught anywhere ever, even to this day. But I decided when I was writing this book and I was doing another related form, I'm like, you know what? It's time to change that. So this form's also in the book. It's a spoken, oh, that was loud. It's a spoken only grammar form that means because. But it's used to mean just because, as in implying like just because you do that doesn't mean, so it's like the just because doesn't mean sort of grammar form that's only spoken. Using the quoting form, any quoting form with ko, like that. And yes, it is taught in the book. The book, you also get a few extra example sentences, usually 1 or 2 for most of the forms in here, for every form, pretty much, with exception of like the really basic ones. Some of them have an extra like 2 or 3 sentences, but there wouldn't be enough room to put them in the video course because the video course is already gigantic. So they're only in this book, but there are also audio files for them too. So if you want to get some more sentences, then get the book. But if you just want the grammar forms, they're all going to be for free. Same number of lessons, same grammar forms and everything, same explanation in the free video course, which will start uploading this week, I think Wednesday or Thursday. Anything with KiCad is a win. Thank you. Yeah. Is that the just because one? Yeah, just because. Although it really just means because, and I actually teach that in the book what it's from. There's another related grammar form. I'm not like I'm not gonna, what's it called? I'm not gonna paywall my information for you. I'll just tell you. It's actually a shortened version of this form, which is also in the book, 타고해서, or 타고하니까. You might have heard that form. I've taught that one before. It's when you're giving a reason for something, like one of many reasons for something. Like, oh yeah, it's because of this and this, you know, like that. And this form is also said without this. So it's a shortened version of this form. It has a lot of the same restrictions as that form with how it's used. But it's spoken only, and it has that extra meaning of like, just because of this doesn't mean that sort of thing. Or you can really just think of it as because, but it has that sort of nuance. Are the lessons organized by level? Yes, it's mixed. So the lessons are not organized within the lesson. I'll show you. I'll tell you, actually. I can't really show you because it's kind of far away. So like, for example, let me find a lesson that has all of them. Because is a pretty gigantic lesson. In fact, it's so big I cut because into 2 separate lessons. The first one, it has all 4 levels, so 0 stars, 1, 2, and 3. They're not organized though in order in the lesson. It doesn't start off with basic and then go harder and harder and harder. The reason is a lot of stuff has overlap. Like there will be a form that can be used by beginners, but then an intermediate version of that form that wouldn't be used by beginners that has a different usage, like that. So sometimes they'll be listed twice in the book. Like one of them is the basic version, the other one's the real version sort of thing. But they all are categorized. So you'll see it as soon as you see the lesson, you'll see in the book, you'll see how many stars it has. And you can also check in the table of contents. They're all organized here. So if you want to know, like, oh, say I feel I'm like low intermediate. Well, then all I have to do is go to the lesson, see things that have 1 star and 2 stars and skip ahead to those. I don't have to bother with the stuff that's 0 stars or 3 stars yet. Or maybe I'm someone who's more advanced. I just want to see if I'm missing something. Just skip to the lessons with 3 stars. Most of them have a lot of 3-star stuff. In fact, the because part 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I guess you can count that, but 16 individual advanced grammar forms for because in just one lesson. So yeah, there's plenty for all the levels. Have a safe flight and a fabulous trip. See you in August. Thank you, Lady Nutbug. You'll see me sooner though. I'll be doing live streams while I'm in Korea. I just won't have this beautiful whiteboard with me because it's too big to put in my carry-on luggage or my check-in luggage for that matter. In fact, I'm going to be packing light to Korea this year because I'm going by myself. So I can only bring the stuff I can carry. I have my one camera bag that I carry with all my equipment. But this year, the flying rules changed. So if you don't know, they changed the rules for a lot of the airlines for how many batteries you can carry. So for batteries that are installed in a device, like if you have a laptop, you can't take out the battery. For those ones, they have a limit of 15 batteries total. And for loose batteries, lithium batteries, I should say, not regular alkaline or the other kind, I can't remember the one that starts with an N. Anyway, alkaline batteries are not, but for lithium batteries, 5. And they have to be separately packaged. You have to have them in a separate bag that you take. They do not go up in the cargo. They don't go in the areas above your head. You have to have them on your person while you're flying, which is really annoying. They changed this. Normally I would just, fill my bag up with whatever batteries I want. But this time I'm going to have to be really cautious about how many batteries I take because I can only take 5. Yeah. And if you have more than that, they won't let you. You need special permission to carry more than that. Like if you have medical devices, then they might let you take more. But other than that, yeah, it changed. So because of that, I'm going to have to be packing a little bit more efficiently than I normally do just because I'm not going to have as much space for the stuff that I typically bring, as well as, batteries. I have a lot of batteries, GoPro batteries, my camera batteries, my light batteries. Normally I'd bring an external battery, but this year I'm not, just because I can't. So that changed recently, as in like a few months ago recently. Scrambled Eggs on Toast said, how can we know when you'll be live streaming? I'll make an announcement before I do it, but you might not know that far in advance. Maybe a few days in advance. But if you're in my Discord channel, I usually try to post somewhere. I'll make a post somewhere in advance before I do it. 책을 지금 사겠네. 고마워요. So what you said, Piano, actually is correct, but that it's kind of funny. I don't know if you'd use it on purpose, but this ending, 겠네, is used for making an assumption about something. Like, I assume that must be difficult. That's going to be fun. Oh, 재밌겠네. But if you use it with an action verb, like 가다, like to go, to do, it is not used to say, I will do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go. This is actually an archaic grammar form that means I will do that. So it's like saying I shall is what it sounds like. I shall. Well then, I shall go. I go. Like that sort of meaning. You'll hear it actually if you play the game Age of Empires and you do the Korean civilization. The king will say 가겠네 when you like command him to walk. It's kind of funny. But it's an older usage of like the will do something. And this is not the ne as in like excited, reacting, surprised. It's not that ne ending. It's an older version of that, which just is used for emphasis. Like, I shall go. And yeah, it's not used anywhere. So just so you know, you don't want to use 겠네 or like 했어요 or 겠습니다 or anything like that. Oh, 겠습니다 actually is an exception. That one's okay. The formal one, 겠습니다, is fine. It's just formal. But other versions of it with an action verb have an older feeling and they sound awkward. So they wouldn't be used. But if you know that, what you wrote is actually fine. It's just kind of funny. I promise to keep up on all your activities. Nice. Piano says, I mix levels all the time. I meant, yeah, I'm going to do it. Nice. As well as another person who came in who said, 안녕하세요, welcome. Yeah, if you play Age of Empires, you'll actually learn a little bit of old style Korean, especially if you pick the King Sejong, because he has such... The King Sejong in Korea, in the Age of Empires game. No. Sorry. Civilization has the voice. The Age of Empires has really nice audio files for all the Korean characters. So you can listen to that. But if you also want some more Korean, which is what I should have said, if you also want some more Korean listening in a game, Civilization 5, pick King Sejong. He has like the sweetest voice for a king. It's such a soft, nice voice when he talks. I can't even remember what he said. It just sounds really cute. So a lot of Koreans like that voice. It's kind of funny just because of how he speaks. They're like, what? Why does he sound like that? But if you want to hear some kind of funny, cute, older sounding Korean, then yeah, play Civilization 5. Just only play like, a couple turns. You don't want to go too far. Just like two turns, maybe 3, maybe one more before bed. And then maybe a couple more just because, now you got to respond to what the computer did. But maybe one more so you don't forget what you're doing. Yeah, just a couple more turns. Nastaria Stellar says, donation made via prayer. Nastaria, you already made a donation. Are you making another donation? Oh, Nastaria, thank you. Second quarter of the hour donation. Thank you, Nastaria. And you say, sadly, you can't smuggle your equipment in Jeremy's bags like last time. Oh, you remember that? Yeah, I did. I totally did. I took out my stuff because I had a big bag as my carry-on, but it was fine for size. It wasn't that, it wasn't too big, but it was just the full size. And it was over the weight limit. But who cares about the weight limit? No one weighs your carry-on bag, but they do. Air Premia weighs them. And Jeremy, though, only had this little tiny backpack because I thought I'll make it easy on him. I didn't want to have him carry a bunch of stuff. But they weighed it and they're like, oh, you can't have it. It's too heavy. It's like, okay, fine. So I took out all the heavy stuff, stuffed it in Jeremy's backpack. Poor Jeremy's got this, like, 5-6 kilogram backpack now because of me. It's like, why? Can't you just say, obviously that backpack doesn't weigh anything. This backpack does. So, put the weight over here in my head. And it's totally under the limit, but they didn't want to do that. So I think I also scared the counter worker when I started speaking Korean, because I was like shocked that they're weighing my bag. I've never had it weighed before. So instead of trying to talk to them in English, I just switched to Korean. I was like, hey, what's going on? Is this like a new thing? Is this normal? And I think I scared them though. Kenneth Ian says, one more round. Yes. Oh, always one more round. Civilization 5 leader Sejong of Korea. Yes. Listen to what he says. He's just got such a sweet voice. Billy, when robots get good enough, are you going to get one to be your cameraman? Assuming the price is reasonable. I don't see a world where we get humanoid robots helping us like in the movie I, Robot. I don't see it. I don't think we're that close to artificial general intelligence like some people think we are. I don't think we're anywhere close to that. But let's say yes. Let's say that robots get good enough in my lifetime. Would I get one to be my cameraman? Yeah, if I can afford it, sure. That would be great. I would love so much to have someone to help me when I'm filming in Korea, because it is so hard to do everything by myself. I mean, obviously I'm not doing everything by myself. I interview people, they're helping me. I'll sit down with other YouTubers and they're helping me make the video, right? But like, as far as operating the channel, filming and all that stuff, I have to do it by myself. It would be wonderful if I had someone who could follow me around, hold my camera bag, hand out business cards to people after I talk with them. Yeah, totally. Absolutely. If I could afford it. Any other good games to play in Korean? I haven't played too many games that have like with translations in Korean. I have a bunch of Korean games. I have like Korean made games I played in Korean, but nothing recently. Cosmo says, I tried changing games into Korean, but they use more formal words and different speaking styles, so I guess it's not the best practice. You really want to get a game made in Korea if you're going to play it in Korea. Or if they have an official dub, that's a good sign that the game has a real translation in Korean, because they would have had to hire a separate team to do that. Like in the case of Civilization 5, you can trust the translation. It wasn't just like they put it in the auto translate and shipped it, because they would have had to have a Korean company get the dialogue dubbed anyway. So they would also take care of the UI translation and everything like that. So that sort of case, if it has an official Korean dub, you can trust it, even if it's not made in Korea. But I think the best experience is going to be Korean made games with an actual Korean dub written in Korean from the beginning. And there are a lot of them. There's a guy on YouTube, Jeep. I actually don't remember his last name. It starts with a B. Barnett? Hold on. Let me find. Jeep Barnett. Yeah, Jeep Barnett. Hopefully he's not watching so he doesn't feel awkward by this. So there's a guy named Jeep Barnett. He's like a developer, game developer, but he does some fun videos on his YouTube channel where he reviews and plays through a ton of Korean made games, like actual Korean games. And so yeah, check him out if you want some game recommendations. I'll wholeheartedly recommend his channel for that. He's another Korean learner like me. Can you mail stuff to a friend? Yes, you can. You can mail stuff to a friend. Dead by Daylight, yeah, Daebade had a Korean translation team. No, I don't think they do anymore. It used to be really popular. So Dead by Daylight is, they call it Daebade. So if you're interested in that game, just search this. I mean, you could type the full name in Korean as well, but usually they'll abbreviate it. It's pretty popular. I never played it, but I did watch a streamer who was a Korean streamer who would play that game a lot. because it's fun to watch, but I don't think I'd be very good at it. There are, surprisingly though, a lot of Korean-made games. I'd say horror games and visual novel games in Korea are very like common, and they're advanced, like really good. So if you're looking for that kind of game, like story game, like a visual novel story, there are a lot of them made in Korea, in Korean, like dubbed and everything, as well as, like I said, horror games. There are a lot of Korean horror games. Some really fun ones too. But all the ones I played now are quite a bit old. I did it during like the early, like the first year of COVID. I would play a lot of Korean games because I had a lot of free time. But nowadays I haven't had any free time. I was working on this book literally, you can ask my wife, 7 days a week, every single day from when I would wake up until when I would go to bed, with the exception of lunch, since the beginning of January, since the beginning of this year. And I would, like, for example, I would finish the work that day at like 6 or 7. And then from 7 to 8 would be when I was writing the, making the, what do you call it? The study notebook pages, or when I was making the other cheat sheets. All that stuff was like in the time right before I went to bed. But this took up all my time. So I hadn't had much time to do any game streaming this year. And that's the reason why. Just because I'd been too busy working on that. Liza P. That's right. Yeah, Liza P was made by a Korean company. Do they have a full Korean dub? I'd assume they would. Liza P is kind of like a Dark Souls game, I think. It's that type of game, from what I've heard. Kenneth Ian said, I do enjoy your game streams when you do them. Thanks. Yeah, that's the reason I can't do them, is just because by the time I finished my work, until, 4 days ago when I finally released this book, from the time I woke up after I got ready, so from like 8:30 all the way until like 7 at night, sometimes until 9, depending on what it was, I was just writing this project or editing it, formatting it, all that stuff. So it took a ridiculous amount of time. I haven't had any extra time to do game streaming. Mani paseo. Thank you, Keith. Mani paseo is a very polite expression that you can say to a small shop owner. So you wouldn't want to say it when you leave McDonald's, but it's a nice thing you can say to small shop owners. That's like, hey, hope your business does well, is what it means. Like, hey, sell a lot out there. Good luck with your business. So it's appropriate to say to like small business owners or people selling stuff on the side of the street, but you wouldn't say it if you walked out of a department store. It's like, oh, thanks. Go to McDonald's. Hey, mani paseo as you leave. They're going to be like, I hope not. I don't really want to work harder. Yeah, I've been missing the games too. I just hadn't had any chance. And the game I was doing most recently, for those of you who are in the gaming streams that I used to do, it's not that fun, honestly. I think it's the 지금 우리 학교는, like All of Us Are Dead, I think is what it was. And it's a visual novel game, but like nothing was happening. And they introduced, I think, 8 characters in the first 5 minutes of the game. So I was like, oh, come on. Like, anyway, not too much was happening. I didn't feel like I have many choices either. It's like, do you want to run away and die, or do you want to run away and avoid everything and live? It's like, I didn't really feel like I have a choice, and they would rarely give me options. So I don't know if I go back to it, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep playing that game. I might switch to a different game, but yeah, I just didn't have any time. And this week I do have lots of time, but I need to pack. In fact, tonight, as soon as this live stream's over, like the second this live stream's over, I'm pulling out my suitcase from the garage. I'm taking down all of my stuff I'm going to be bringing to Korea. I have a bunch of little gifts I have to distribute out to some friends. All my equipment for filming and everything, all these shirts. I do not wear these shirts normally. This is only for videos and live streams. So I have to pack everything. It's going to be a lot of a big mess in this room from now until next week when I leave to Korea. Maybe it just starts slow. Yeah, it could, but at this point I've already played through, I think, the first 30 minutes of the game. I think 30 to 45 minutes is what I've checked. Although I've been playing it for several hours, I think it's only like the first 30 or so minutes, but it still is kind of slow for me. Can you say it to someone promoting a product at a market? typically you would say it after you've bought something though. Like you're not just going to say mani paseo and then like, I'm not buying it like, and leave. It would be after you've already purchased it. It's like, hey, hope you sell a lot. I bought one. That sort of like, thank you is how it's used. Was my usage toward your books appropriate? Yeah, perfect. Anything that's like I said, if it would be appropriate to tell someone like, hey, I hope you sell a lot. I hope your business does well. Then it's fine. Could you say mani paseo at a small restaurant or cafe? Not a cafe, because they're not really selling individual items. They're like selling a service. I think at a cafe, it's like you're not just buying coffee and leaving. It's not that they're just selling like a limited edition coffee cup, but they're selling you the experience of drinking something and sitting down and talking. So you wouldn't really use it at a cafe, I would think, or a small restaurant. The same thing. If it's like a service, you don't usually say it. It's for like items that you can buy, is how it feels. Daddy Tojang asks, trot versus K-pop. Well, if you want to get technical, they're actually the same thing. Trot started out as the original K-pop. It was this is completely serious. Trot was supposed to be an imitation of Western popular music. That's trot. It was Korea making their own Korean versions of Western songs because they thought they're popular. So let's make our own, homegrown version of these popular songs. So you can find older trot, from the 70s or whatever, that'll be kind of mimicking the popular music at the time outside of Korea. And that evolved into, there's this kind of music. There's music from Japanese pop. So let's kind of make our own version of it. It's not the same. It sounds distinct, but let's kind of make our own version about it. And now, we found things that we like. We found things that we're good at doing. And we found what things are more unique about our culture, our dancing, our music. So now we're going to actually make a version that's quite different than what we based it on originally. And now you have this distinct genre of K-pop, but it started off as trot. That was just copying whatever else was out there. And the funny thing is, if you look at other, famous rock music, pop music in the US, it's also the same thing, that it was people copying other styles or other music and just kind of, taking a song that was already made and singing it in your own style. But yeah, that's what it is. So I don't know if I would say trot or K-pop is better. I'd probably say K-pop's better though, but there's some really fun trot songs. I like both. Mikey says, it's like Clark Kent glasses. If Billy has a different shirt, who would recognize him? Surprisingly, I have been recognized a handful of times without my uniform on, but most of the time, if I put it on and walk around Korea, I always get stopped. But if I don't put it on, most people wouldn't recognize me. Very few would ever know it's me. Kai said, message retracted. That's beautiful. Thank you, Kai. That's really, really sweet thing to say, message retracted. No one's really put it to me like that. Since the last time someone said message retracted, about like an hour ago. What are we chatting about? I don't know. I really don't know. Kai says it's the hat. You think it's the hat? I don't think it's the hat. Do you know why? Because I regularly wear a hat when I'm out and about in Korea, just because I don't want to do anything to my hair. I'm someone who does nothing to my hair at all. I don't even comb it. I get out of the shower, I dry it, and I put a hat on when I leave. That's it. I don't put gel in and I don't do anything fancy with it. So me wearing a hat is like default. In fact, if you see a foreigner walking around in Korea with a hat, there's like a 50% chance it's me. No, I don't know. Most people that I notice in Korea don't wear hats, like for tourists. But anyway, yeah, so I wear a hat normally, but people won't recognize me when I'm in a hat. It's just when I'm in the shirt and the hat, and if I'm smiling too. I notice if I'm sometimes like this, people won't recognize me. But then who knows? I have been recognized out of costume still. One time I was doing photography, not filming a video. I wasn't dressed I was dressed my regular clothes. I had a hat, totally regular clothes, and I was carrying a light stand somewhere. And I was looking down at the ground, carrying my light stand because I didn't want it to hit anyone. So I'm like really careful, looking down at the ground. Someone stopped me. They're like, oh, you taught me the alphabet. I'm like, what the hell? how'd you recognize me? I'm not even looking at you. So sometimes people recognize me. Usually though, I'm invisible unless I'm wearing this whole thing. And if I'm doing this and talking, if they hear me talking and I'm smiling and everything, then, people will come up to me. Otherwise, I'm pretty invincible in Korea. I mean, not invincible, invisible, not invincible. I was invincible when I was a teenager, but now I'm just invisible. At least you have hair. Cherish it. Sob, sob. For now, Keith. Daddy Tojang. Every time I go to Korea, they ask if I'm in the military or an English teacher. Yeah, it's same with me. Wait, they recognize you more with or without a smile? With a smile, people will recognize me more. I think though, it's the whole package. It's the whole thing. The hat, the shirt, they see my face, they see my expressions, they hear my voice. Then anyone's going to recognize me if I do that. But if I take away some of those, less chance. I usually walk around, I wear a mask, or I'll wear, sunglasses, or I'll have my hat, different shirt. No one would know it's me. No one cared who I was until I put on the hat. Yeah. Or maybe they think you're in a bad mood and don't want to bother you. That's a little pro tip I'll tell you. If you want to not be seen as a tourist in Korea, and actually I would say you don't want to be seen as a tourist in Korea, except if you made a mistake and you're trying to apologize, if you get in trouble, then you want to act like a tourist. Then it's good. Or if someone's asking you if you, if you really want to impress someone, then maybe looking like a tourist is good. But most of the time you don't want to look like a tourist because you want to make sure you get the best service. You want to get the best prices. You want to get, you don't want to have people bothering you. You don't want people to be, oh, no foreigners in here, that kind of thing. You want the best experience. You don't want to look like a tourist. And the way to do that, there's a couple things you can do to not look like a tourist in Korea. First of all is you do not look at other people in the eyes as you're walking around. You look kind of down to yourself. Even better, look at your cell phone. So this is how I spend most of my time walking around in Korea. My phone's off. My phone's not even on. I'll just be maybe I'll just be looking at the blank screen, or I'll put up some article and I'll read it. Just walking around like this. Maybe put my phone down for crossing the street, looking kind of down, looking at my surroundings, but not staring at other people in the eyes. Definitely. The other thing is you don't want to make a big smile, because some Koreans are uncomfortable with people who are smiling. It's a cultural difference, which I think it's a bit unfortunate, but a lot of Koreans feel uncomfortable if they see someone smiling because they think, why are they smiling? Is there something funny happening that I don't know? Or are they laughing at me? Are they laughing at someone else? Are they okay? It just kind of looks a little confusing to them because people don't usually walk around smiling in Korea, but we might in the US. So that's another thing is, instead of walking around wow, oh, I'm so happy I'm in Korea, just you're busy, make a I'm busy face. Now, if someone talks to you, you can, of course, you can look up, but if you're going into a store and you're buying something, you don't have to be ooh, when you're paying for your food or anything. You can look up, you can make eye contact, you can talk with them. But if you're walking around with this face on, it's going to look like you're a tourist 100%. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit annoying for that. So there are some other bad things about that too. If you obviously look like a tourist, people aren't going to want to sit next to you on the bus, which you might think is cool until you see a bunch of people purposely pass you on the bus. You're like, come on, I don't bite. You can sit here. They're purposely avoiding your seat because you look like a tourist. And when I wear this in Korea, I look 100%. I look like a tourist, and everyone avoids sitting next to me on the bus until it gets completely full. And then what you end up with is the last person to get on the bus who smells like they've been drinking all day and has bad gas and is listening to their phone, watching something really weird, and they sit right next to you because that's the only person who would be willing to sit next to you because other people didn't want to sit next to you. Then it's why was everyone avoiding me? I wish they would have just sat down. So sometimes you don't want to look like a foreigner. Sometimes you just want to kind of blend in. And I'd say taking the bus is one of those when you really just want to look like you're a safe, boring person when you're on the bus. So that way you can get regular people that want to sit next to you, not more disruptive people that sit next to you. I've had people like everyone would avoid sitting next to me on the bus. And then the last person to walk up who like couldn't find anywhere else, they finally sat next to me and they were snoring and sleeping and they kept falling over onto my shoulder while snoring and like drooling. Like, no. So yeah. Let's see, what did Kai say? Oh, that's right. Kai just said message retracted. Message retracted? But you already said that, Kai. Why are you saying message retracted 3 times? No eye contact, the dream. All destroyed once Nunchi is mentioned, though. I could never. Just walk around saying, Kurom tame toba. Kurom tame toba. Keith says, pet them when they do that. That's an easy way to get the police called on you, though. So I don't think I would do that. No, I don't remember what I did. I think I just like pushed my shoulder to kind of like, hey, like you're on someone's shoulder. They didn't wake up though. They were just like out. So I think I tried doing that at first, but then I just kind of gave up and moved to the side. Yeah, I've got a lot of people sit next to me on the bus because if I'm dressed like this, there's nothing I can do. I can't avoid it. I look like a tourist when I'm wearing all this. And I have my camera, I have my big backpack on my lap and I'm like this on the bus. Even if I make my face, they still see me as a tourist. But when I don't wear this, when I'm just dressed normally, yeah, anyone will sit next to me because I look like a foreigner, obviously, but I don't really look like a tourist foreigner. I just look like someone who lives in Korea, maybe a student. Yeah, do not pet them though. do not pet the drunk Koreans. Okay, any other questions before we go for today? So yeah, that's my biggest secret I'll say is just kind of keep your eyes down, make a serious face, no big smiles, and yeah, look like you're busy and you have places to be. And you'll get better treatment, I found, in general for that sort of thing. Like, you're not going to experience too much where you get discriminated against for being a foreigner, especially, you know, if you're white foreigner, you know, I'm not going to be talking about discrimination. In Korea, though, there's a little bit you can get, like not getting preferential treatment, whereas other people will. That kind of feels annoying. Like you'll go to a restaurant and they'll tell you that they're full when they're not because they don't want to deal with someone that speaks English. It's not that they don't like you because you're a foreigner, but it's like, I don't have any servers that speak English. I don't want to deal with it. Last time we had a foreigner, they caused problems or something like that. You don't want to be lumped into that group. But if you look, you know, serious, you're busy, you've been here before, you can get into more restaurants. There's some places I've had that as an issue. I did have one time where I was dressed up to go film, and after I finished filming, I was still dressed and everything, and I was going into a restaurant next to my apartment, and the worker rushed out when I came in, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're full." There were literally like tables all over the place that were empty, and there are 2 tables with people sitting there that looked over, and they're like, "We have plenty of room here, come in." Like they're just customers. And the owner's like, "No, I'm sorry, they're reserved, they're all full." And this was like a local place next to my apartment, so I knew that they don't host events or anything. But that sort of thing is rare, but still it would not have happened if I didn't look like I did at that time. But honestly, especially in Seoul, there are so many tourists anyway that many natives don't really pay attention to it. Yes, in the really popular areas of Seoul, yes. But Seoul is very big. And there are a lot of areas in Seoul where you still kind of get different treatment for being a foreigner. Even in Seoul, there are a bunch of areas where it's like less common to see foreigners there, especially areas that don't have a college. Like if you're going to be in an area that's right next to one of the major schools, then it's not weird at all. They're going to see foreigners every day. But if you're a little bit farther than that, they're going to be like, "Why are you here? Like, what, do you work here? Like, what's going on?" And when I stay in Korea, I usually kind of pick those areas because they're cheaper to stay. And I'll walk around and I never see another foreigner except when I go into the city area. Like it's a little different, like right outside of the main areas, it's like a slightly different version of Seoul. Stella's mom. Hey, Stella's mom. Americans randomly smile at other people and make small talk way too much. It makes us look suspicious to a lot of the world. Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that in Korea. Raksit says, I'm currently planning for an advanced level Japanese exam. That's why I stopped Korean, but listening to you somehow feels awesome. That's why I watch your lives regularly, sometimes even rewatch them. You're studying Japanese, but you're watching my Korean live streams. Nande. Nandeanen. Kai asks, have you ever caught someone talking bad about you in Korean and then you let them know you can understand them? Yes, I have. Nothing, I don't remember the details but it's happened several times. I'm trying to think if there's any that I can actually remember what they said. Like I said, it's usually small things and then I just chime in with an answer. Like I was, eavesdropping on them. If they actually said something bad, then I'm okay revealing that I was eavesdropping. Otherwise, you do not want to you do not want to jump into someone else's conversation like you're eavesdropping because it's rude. If they're saying something rude though, it's an exception. But I can't think of exactly what the last time was and what they said. But yeah, sometimes like they might say like, oh, that, foreigners smell or something. I've heard that before. When I lived in Korea, I remember someone saying that they thought, oh, foreigners really smell, and they were like pointing in my direction. But I think I said something like, oh, it's not me, it was someone else who was on the bus or something. I replied to that and they were like, oh, I'm sorry. But usually no, I don't remember what it is. And it's nothing usually insulting. It might just be talking about me. Or it's usually I'll hear them talking about other people. Like I can overhear them talking about another foreigner group that's on the bus together with me. Sometimes I'll be on the bus and there'll be a bunch of people that get on, and some of them are also foreigners, and they might complain about that if they're like being really loud or something. Yes. Did you step up and speak Korean? Did you end up getting a seat on the restaurant? No, I was speaking Korean the whole time. But if your first impression looks like you're totally a non-Korean, they don't care at that point if you speak Korean. If they first thought, oh, this is a foreigner. Anyway, they don't want to backtrack on what they've first said. So if they give you the, sorry, you can't come in, you're a foreigner, they're not going to want to say, oh, I'm so sorry, you're right, come in. They're going to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like they don't want to lose that. They don't want to lose their, they don't want to be embarrassed at having been wrong. So they'll give you an excuse that's unrelated to that. So no, really, once it's been established, once they already made up their mind for that, it's hard to go back. Is the backpack? Yes. Carrying around a backpack is a big giveaway that you're a tourist. So I carry around an eco bag. I'll have an eco bag one of my friends got me that I'll just carry around everywhere I go in Korea, which is more like Korean style. And I mean, backpacks are okay too, but if you look like me and you have a backpack on, yeah, you're a tourist. Like you want to make it more like you're a tourist, carry around like a camera around your neck, have like a film camera on your neck and walk around like this, carrying the camera, like looking up. Don't even look at people's eyes. You don't even need to look at people's eyes. Just look up and around you at random buildings of like McDonald's. There's like McDonald's over there, and do this. Like if that doesn't scream foreigner, I don't know what does. Omoshiroi kara. Okay. Honestly, the funny aspect of making them realize they can understand them feels like it will 1000% make up for the fact that I'm being insulted. Yeah, I don't take it. Like, there isn't going to be a time when I can remember when I was actually like insulted, because they know that other people are listening to them too. And it just sounds rude to talk in front of someone like bad like that. So they wouldn't do it in the first place. They're not like openly rude about that. But it would be like smaller things. Like sometimes if there's someone really loud on the subway or on the bus that's near me, I can overhear, you'll overhear maybe someone like talking with their friend saying like, oh man, that guy's like so really like loud, so annoying, or those, that country's people are always really loud. I've heard that before sometimes, but it's nothing like terrible, I guess. Because I do plan to continue Korean after July. Okay, nice. Nice. Yeah, but if you speak Korean, you're not going to be like overhearing people insulting you a bunch, because in fact, Koreans just aren't going to be insulting you that much. It's not like once you unlock Korean, like, oh, everyone's talking about me. Like the movie, like, what is it? What was that? No, not George Clooney. Was it George Clooney? No. What was that movie? Mel Gibson? Yeah. Remember that movie, Mel Gibson, What Women Want? Well, it's not going to be like that movie where like you suddenly can hear everyone talking about you behind your back. It's not like that, but you will pick up sometimes when people will be mentioning something about you. Like the most common thing that I'll hear, and I just remember this, the most common thing that I hear other people talking about related to me is when I'm waiting in line at a restaurant, or when I'm waiting in line for to buy something, and I'll hear people comment, wow, this place is popular among foreigners. I didn't know that. Or I guess this place is really popular. Lots of foreigners come here. Like it's stuff like that. It's mild comments like that. Like, oh, foreigners really like this place, I guess. Is that an insult? Like, no. I mean, why do foreigners like this place? Because it's good. So, or maybe it'll be something like, oh, I'm surprised so many foreigners know about this place. Like, that's it. And I have also said things in situations where people have made specific comments about me, but nothing like recent that's been like an actual insult. So you don't really have to worry about that. Next time I hear someone talking about me, though, I usually don't really pay attention to it much, but next time I hear someone say something that I overhear, I will let you guys know. I'll write it down, I'll make a note of it or whatever, and I'll let you guys know exactly what they said and what I replied. What are you most excited about when you go to Korea this trip? It's just whoever I get to meet. It's just seeing my friends again, honestly. Filming videos is fun. Sometimes filming videos is an excuse to hang out with my friends or other YouTubers. Just, you know, like, yeah, we can't just hang out, so let's film a video so we have something to do. Sometimes it's like that. Yeah, I think for me, that's been the best part about knowing Korean, is just having Korean friends and, you know, going out to eat, going to karaoke, eating again, that sort of thing. It's fun going to a cafe and just talking with a friend for like 4 hours, that sort of stuff. That's what I think is my favorite part about being in Korea every time. Billy has homework of listening to an insult and report back to chat. So anytime I hear someone talking about me or related to me, if it's something that I responded to, I'll let you guys know. Or actually, if I just hear something, I'll let you know. Because I normally, like I said, I have memories of it happening a lot, but I never really paid attention to it. I never really thought it's important to better remember this or write this down. So I can't give you like specifics on most of it. But next time I do, I'll pay more attention and I'll write it down and let you guys know exactly what happened. Because yeah, I didn't really think of that as being that big of a deal, because it's not like a superpower. Like being able to understand what other Koreans say is like mostly boring. They're talking about like what they're doing that day, or someone they met, or what they're going to go eat, or talking about like meeting friends, or like, oh, what are you going to do now? Like that sort of thing. It's pretty boring conversations that you get to overhear. Nothing like scandalous, really. Do you have any bucket list items for this trip? Yes, I'm going to eat. It's the stuff I want to eat. A few friends I want to meet. A few videos I really want to film. What should I do? What should be a bucket list item for this trip? What do I need to do this trip in Korea? I'll be there June and July. So what should I do for this trip? What do you think? Decide for me. What should I do when I'm in Korea this year? I'll do a fan meetup. I'll do another meetup this year. Like I said, the 31st, which is going to be next Saturday. But I don't have any other plans. I don't have any other like bucket list items. I got to do this. I do know some things that are going on there that I'm going to try to go to. But we'll see. Eating sundae, though, that's obvious. I'm going to eat sundae probably the first day I'm there. Yeah, the sundae is the first thing that I find to eat, as well as an Isaac toast. Isaac toast and sundae. Those are the first two things that I find no matter where I am. And then jjajangmyeon. I also find a jjajangmyeon restaurant. Like that'll right when I arrive, I'll search the area. I'll find a good sundae place, good jjajangmyeon place. I'll find if there's an Isaac toast or not. Then if I can, I'll find if there's like a pizza school, which is like cheap pizza. I'll also search for a restaurant that has samgyeopsal, which is there always are. I'll find a place that's a 기사식당. This means a driver, like a car driver, 기사, and then 식당 is restaurant. So a taxi driver restaurant, essentially. These are the restaurants that are really good, but really cheap. And they're the restaurants that taxi drivers stop at in Korea to eat. They need something that's affordable, but healthy, tastes really good, because they could get any food they want. They drive taxis, but they want it to be really good and cheap. So these are like the golden restaurants. But I always try to find these types of restaurants also. And you don't Google 기사식당, you're not going to find them. If you search Naver 기사식당, you're not going to find it, because that's going to be the restaurant themselves saying that we are a 기사식당, even if they're not. No. You got to search the actual location. You got to search the actual restaurants in the area and find restaurants that look like a mom and pop restaurant. So not franchises, but ones that look like they're a little bit older, that have nice prices. 착하다 is actually this word's used for a lot, but 착하다 also means to be nice. With related to prices, it means like it's really cheap, like dirt cheap. So they say, oh, the prices are too 착해요, 착하다. So it's like really nice prices, not overpriced. Like maybe you get a whole meal and it's like 8,000 won and it makes you full. And they give you a lot of food. Like that thing would be like considered that. So if you find, I always find restaurants like that wherever I am. And then that will be the place that I'll go to, like, 2-3 times a week. Whenever I need a meal, I'll just go to whatever local 기사식당 I can find. Because I don't really need to get like fancy Korean food every day. I just need something to eat, right? Just something simple. And usually they also have a really varied menu. Or they'll have one thing that they do really good. Either they'll have like a big variety or it's like one thing. And I always find some of these. Again, though, it's not something you can really search for. You have to ask your friends. What you can search for is 맛집. 맛 is for like 맛있어요, like delicious. 집 is for a restaurant. 집 can be a store or a restaurant. But in this case, it means a tasty restaurant. So a restaurant that's really good. Maybe we'd say a 5-star restaurant, like an actual legit place. You can ask your friends for recommendations for these. You can also search them on Naver, although Naver will also give you the actual 맛집 mixed with ads. So there is a trick you can do. I'll teach you a secret that most Koreans don't know. I don't want to write the word here, but I'm going to let you fill in the blank mentally. Actually, that's not what I want. There is a Korean swear word that if you know it, it's maybe the most common Korean swear word. Starts with this letter. Ends, the second word has this letter. It's essentially the Korean, like the F word, but it's not that strong. If you search 맛집, or any type of 맛집. Say you want to look for a samgyeopsal. Say you're looking for samgyeopsal. So you look for samgyeopsal 맛집. And you type samgyeopsal 맛집 into Naver search. So you're finding a 맛집, right? You're going to get all these ads. You're going to get actual blog posts. And the blog posts are going to be people who reviewed it. Maybe it's a legit review. Maybe they were given free food to do it. You can check, I find something I like, good. You might be okay for a lot of types of food. You might be okay. Especially if you're in an area that's like there's nothing around you. But you're going to get lots of ads. You're going to get, like I said, lots of the random stuff that Naver curates by getting paid. But if you throw in a swear word, Naver's not going to curate those ads for you. It's going to think, okay, I don't want to touch this. Go ahead. Here's your 맛집. Here's your actual 맛집. And they'll only share you like real blog posts from real people that are not filtered in through their search engine. So if you throw a swear word after it, it's a secret. Throw a swear word after whatever you're searching for, and you'll be able to find what you're looking for. Don't tell people I told you this trick though. But it works. I've done it before. So yeah, 맛집 is really good. Do that. 기사식당, again, you can't really search for it. Any restaurant that calls themselves 기사식당 is not a 기사식당. That's the issue. Is you can't Google it and find, oh, that's a 기사식당. Cool, I'll go there. You have to actually know, you have to actually directly find out from your friends if there are any in the area. And they might only know the ones that are in their own local neighborhood, the real places for that. So yeah, hopefully that'll help you though. Okay, do you find Koreans speak more freely around you since they assume you do not speak Korean? Yeah, I'll hear them talk about whatever until I speak Korean, and then they'll stop talking. They'll be really careful what they say. But first I can hear them talking totally normal. Fish market, yes. Keith says, I saw a Sundae podcast. Do you like the standard or more Pinoon kind? I liked all of the Sundae kind, but standard's my favorite. I've had a lot of different variations, including a 오징어 sundae in Jeju. In Jeju, they have like an 오징어 sundae as well, which is pretty good too. But the regular sundae is my favorite. MC says, I have a favorite restaurant near Korea University where bibimbap is 5,000원 and kalguksu is 4,500원, and you get a lot of banchan. Well, then that sounds really good. That sounds like it could be a 기사식당 because low prices plus really good food. But if you see a lot of older men at the restaurant, it probably is 기사식당. Do you have like a one-stop place in one of your books that goes over most of the spoken only grammar rules? No, because there are a lot and they're not related to each other. Like one form will be for because, one form is like for what we did today or whatever, or there'll be another form that's like another because form, or actually there's, now come to think of it, there are a lot of because forms that are spoken only. I can think of 2 more right now. No, there isn't one place for that. But if you're looking for something that is spoken only grammar, I did a course. There's a video course version of this as well. The book has 5 extra chapters. This whole book is spoken only Korean because it's about native level conversations. So it's all not scripted conversation, not like, hello, Sally, what did you do today? But these are like, dude, I'm so full. I had like way too much to eat for lunch today. These are like really natural, real Korean conversations taken from real conversations as well. So they were developed from actual conversations. And there are 25 of them, and this is one. They're quite long, and then the book will go through every single word, every single form that they use, and give really quick explanations of how those forms work. There are audio files that are recorded at a native level speed, so you get to hear what they actually would sound like. Not, again, these are not like teachers reading sentences, but actually Koreans reading it. And yeah, this book came out last year. I actually did 2 books last year, and this was one of them. And there's also a course, a video version on my website and on my YouTube channel. It just has 20 lessons, whereas the book has 25. I know I should end the live stream, but I don't want to end. It's the last live class before August. Okay, Kai asks for her dabs. I should have ended it already. Why did I keep talking? Now I have to do 20 dabs for Kai. Hold on. Get some stars, give you some stars, give you the KitKat, give you the kimchi, give you the Korean flag, and let's get some music in here. Let's get more music. I said more music. There you go, Kai. Are you happy? You happy, Kai? Look what you made me do. Jovante says, what level would you recommend for that? This would be for people who have done my beginner course. So you're not advanced yet, but you are like at least high beginner. I wouldn't touch it if you're still like learning the basic alphabet or trying to make really simple sentences. Like you should already be able to say like, I want to go to the store, but I am too busy. Did you say, let's go to the store? You should already be able to make these types of simple sentences. If you're good with that, so this would be like high beginner, then the book's for you. You can jump right into 100% native level, real conversations immediately. as long as you have that down. One day I'll donate $2,000 and make my arms fall off. Yeah, the most I ever did in one day, I think, was 600, because someone I remembered, Volvosaur actually, I remember, he gave me $600 donation when I hit 600,000 subscribers and I was in Korea. And yeah, that was 600 dabs and my arms were dead. I think I did 600 dabs. I don't even remember. I blocked that memory out of my mind, so I can't remember if I did them or not, but I think I did. And yeah, I can't imagine doing more than that. Like, even that was a lot. Kai would pay to see. Yeah, this is when Adobe. So Kai is the CEO, the boss of the CEO at Adobe. That's why Kai is not listed as the CEO, because Kai is actually the CEO's boss. And so Kai works at Adobe, and if Adobe decides they want to go into the Korean teaching business and they need to kill their competition, literally, then they probably could do it by donating a few $1,000s to me and then demanding their dabs. And they'd be like, oh, Billy died. I'm too sorry to see him go. Well, guess there's no one to compete with us now. That would probably be a smart business decision. Don't do it, but it would be a smart business decision. I'll embezzle money from Adobe for it. Wonderful. And then Kai retracted it because you don't want to be caught embezzling. You don't want to admit to your plans. I didn't hear it. I heard nothing, Kai. Did you say something? It just says message retracted now. Last year I saw a few lives from Korea where people were staring at you dabbing. Yeah. That was last year. I went to a park and people had donated and I needed someone to hold the camera. So I asked a couple of, I think they're high school kids to film me dabbing for the live stream. Yes. That's my secret plan. Why'd you spoil? I'm sorry. The one by the lonely marriage photo tree. Yes, that's right. That was last year. Because I didn't bring my, I didn't bring a tripod. I only had a little stand and it wouldn't work for that. So I'll go somewhere else this time. If you have a suggestion for where you'd like me to see a live stream, let me know. I'm open to traveling as long as it's not too far. I can go there. Okay. I think that's good for today. I won't take any more of your time. Thank you for giving me your time though today. Hopefully you learned something from the lesson. Special thanks to people who donated as well. Lexica, Sunny South Paul, Kai, and Nastaria. And I will see you guys again next time. I'll also see you in Korea. Hopefully. Although, yeah, the next time I have one of these, next time you see this whiteboard will be in August. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.